Hey, this is MassX with a brand new One Punch Man the Strongest video, and we're gonna talk Geru, SSR+. They haven't made any changes. They're sticking to what they have stated, the developers. So we have to assume this character is coming as our next SSR+ banner. So what does that mean for you? Well, this character is an Esper and a monster, specialized berserk survival core. The attack attacks a single target for 120% attack, no big deal. The ultimate deals 5 consecutive attacks to all targets, dealing damage by 120% of attack, grants specialized berserk to allies in the same row. First strike will also deal berserk damage by 200% of Geru's attack with the chance of crit. Consumes 150 energy gauge of yours every time when one enemy takes berserk damage. Lasts 1 round. The passive, when battle begins, reduces attack of all hero enemies by 30% for 1 round. From the beginning of round 2, grants himself 35% injury damage free and has a permanent increase of HP based on where he's at. Now the core. This is what we gotta talk about, okay? Grants 3 energy points every round. When any ally takes fatal damage, enters specialized unyielding, ignores all incoming damage, replaces unyielding, and won't be affected by unyielding ignoration. Effect disappears after actions of any 4 characters, recovers HP by 100% of max HP, triggers twice per character every battle. Basically, all your allies are going to have 2 extra lives. Let's just say it that way. Now, if you get this core to L4, it triggers 3 times per battle for each unit and heals 60% of max HP. If you get it to level 10, which is probably unrealistic, but level 4 should be what the striving is for, you trigger 2 times per battle for each unit, heals 100% of max HP, and every trigger deals 150% attack as extra damage to 3 random enemies. So yeah, L4 and L10 are pretty cool. L4 is what you will be striving for that core, okay? Now, if you awaken to this character, each round gain 3 energy. The accompanying support character follow-up will gain 1 extra energy, and that triggers once per round if you awaken to him. So you could probably guess when gearing this character, you're going to be looking for pure attack percentage. Recommended set is something like martial arts because you want the attack up. You know, anything that's going to be all attack is going to be to your favor. You don't have to worry about speed with this character. Keep that in mind. Your buff gear, same thing. Attack percents across the board. For monster, you're going to look at the attack percent bonus times 3 if possible. You're going to look for some damage rate on dragon. And of course, on the Esper, you're going to look for crit if you can possibly get it. That's going to be the most beneficial for you. So why this character? Let's really think about this. Well, first off, it's a core. We don't have to talk any further than that. Cores are important to this game. We all know it. And this is going to probably be the best core we're going to have for a while. Just when you look at the simplicity of this, an extra 2 lives is a lot, okay? So yeah, and looking at CN, they use this core for a freaking long time. It's going to be the best core for PvP and PvE, especially going to be really helpful in PvE to get those 3 stars because your units aren't going to die as quickly. And it should be good for harder content. Simply, it's just obvious by what this can do. It's going to be on the monster side. I mean, it crushes the Gero core. It's a good core for bossing even too. Think about it with the extra lives if you're having problems staying alive. So yeah, I mean, it's just very obvious. And the requirements for this core is just going to be 2 Espers, and that's going to include himself and 2 grapplers, which leaves 2 units for basically anything. So yeah, you get some flexibility with this, more flexible than Bomb. The AoE ult being 0 energy, can't complain about that. It's a great support character and utility character. I mean, with that 200% attack with the Berserk, guaranteed first hit crit, you really can't complain about that. And the fact that it reduces all enemy heroes' attack for 1 round. But again, it is heroes only, but still, hey, I'll take it. And if you get the extreme passive, it becomes all enemies. The 35% injury resistance to self from round 2, it's useful. It does reduce charge damage, so that's incredibly helpful. I mean, we've already talked about this before, but it counters SSR plus Metal Bat. Basically, his follow-ups go on the lowest HP enemy, which will basically deal 1 damage if they're in that enhanced unyielding state. The other thing is, this character isn't as bad as the other ones to build, okay? You don't have to go first. You don't need to use speed. You're really just going to be focused on attack. You don't even need to awaken 2 in KS. So you free-to-plays are going to be loving this core, okay? But if you can get the KS, it's going to help. But that's going to be up to you. But honestly, you don't have to go all in on this character to make this character strong. I really can't even think of any cons for this character, okay? Besides the fact of that it's an SSR plus that you're going to have to pull for. So you know how that goes with those banners. That's about the only con. Now, slotting this character, okay? When you got to think about it, okay? So you need 2 grapplers and 2 espers. Well, Geru's going to count for 1. So your other Esper slot in a perfect world is going to be SSR plus Boros or SSR plus King. Now for your grapplers, most of you, if not all of you, have SSR plus CK, so that's a no-brainer. That's a given, okay? SSR plus CK, you're going to be slotting him in, no doubt. Now, future though, what are you going to use for him? Well, I should say present, first off. Galewind, Koketsu, Bakazan SSR plus, all decent. Watchdog Man, but for Watchdog Man purposes, unless you got him P5 and you're using him to stack with your CK, that's when you're going to want to use him. So if you've got that, great alternative. So in the future though, you know, you're going to be looking at things like Garu SSR plus, Koketsu SSR plus. But for right now, you should have those options so it's not going to be difficult. And like I said, with the Esper, you got King or Boros SSR pluses. But again, if you don't even have those, you can go RMG, ATT, Mel's, PXM. You could even go Sky King if you have to for now. And your high-tech slots, in that, again, this will completely optional because it's not a requirement, okay? So keep that in mind. So if you're better off going with an extra Esper or an extra Grappler or an extra Duelist, because the Duelist and high techs are going to be optional. But again, if you've got a really good SSR plus CE, then of course you're going to want to use him with Geru. But again, it's not going to be required. You can use Lightning Genji, you can use DK, you can even use Dr. Genius. Now for Duelists, if you don't have King, then of course you're going to be slotting in your Sonic version 2. Makes total sense. Hella good to use with him. You can use SSR plus MB, you just have to know the limitations. But the fact that it's going to keep coming back alive, and if you're playing them with that core, you're going to get some longevity, especially if you're looking just to protect the line. So it's not, how should I put this? MB loses its offensive juggernautness to a degree like we've talked about. but there's other ways to manipulate that character, so not completely not useful. But again, this really is a must. This character is going to change everything. He's good for all players. Free to play, low investment, mid-range spenders, not crazy investment. Whales doesn't make a freaking difference. So yeah, this is just a freaking no-brainer character, okay? So keep that in mind. Start planning. You've got a few weeks if he's coming. We should know here. Let's see. It's 31 days in January, so that means we should have confirmation no later than the 22nd, which isn't far off. And you know what? It doesn't hurt to conserve resources. So, Geru, no-brainer, all in. Everybody should be getting him if you want. Again, like I said, it is a game. You do what you want to do. Just here to give suggestions. And my opinion is no better than anybody else's. Nor is anybody else's opinion any better than anyone else's. Always remember that, okay? So with that, as always, please like and subscribe. Have a great day.